When it comes to reproductive rights in Canada, they're definitely on the ticket this year. Even in the language that PP uses to discuss women and saying, I'm discussing that millennial couples' biological clocks are running out before they can afford a home. That's how he decided to measure that time frame. You yourself can go to Abortion Rights Coalition of Canada and you can see how many MPs voted to give fetus personhood, a fetus in utero. So no, they're not actively coming after your right to choose. They're actively saying that your fetus, the fetus inside of you, should have a say in what happens to them. And so how do they do that? And so if you look, out of the Conservatives, 120, so 100% of the Conservative MPs, including Pierre, voted to give a fetus personhood. For Liberals, he doesn't want to give kids school lunches. He doesn't want to give women access to contraceptives, like free contraceptives, to stop the unwanted babies. You know, the babies that they say that women shouldn't be having if they aren't ready. If you do have a baby, don't expect the government to aid in any way to offset the cost of housing. He's not going to be able to bring the cost of housing down. But not only that, but there's specifically provinces like Alberta where their conservative leader for their province is trying to hand over their healthcare to a private company that is a church organization that does not offer reproductive care like Smishmortians. There's provinces where you have to drive hours upon hours to get the care that is Smishmortian care. They've been shutting down clinics. This is a problem, and you would be aware of it if you cared about women and their reproductive rights. And to say that we are completely different from the United States would completely ignore the fact that there's people wearing Trump hats in Canada. There's people that are Maple MAGA. There are people who actively wish that they were part of the United States. There's people from Alberta leaving comments in my comment section saying that, good, we want to leave Canada. Alberta will separate if we get another Liberal government, which good luck, you're on Indigenous land. It's not your land to separate. And I would go and ask the Quebecers, which is the other side of my family, how that separatist movement is going. They're still a part of Canada how many years later? I went to university for political science, and to say that Canada does not tie into the politics that are going on in the United States is completely disingenuous and lacking the ability to understand how far globalization has come. We are economically tied to the United States, and that is why he's trying to pressure us through a trade war to behave in the way that he would like. That's why he's going after other countries and asking them to get rid of their DEI program, because the United States has their fingers all over the world and we are their next door neighbor. Up until recently, we were their longest ally, strongest ally. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, I started talking about politics because we are so integrally, so closely tied to the United States. Majority of Canadians, this conversation about biological clocks and them wanting to get rid of clinics, or them actively getting rid of clinics, and them wanting to give rights to a fetus is enough for most Canadians to go out and vote. Because especially if you're a woman, we've already seen what happened to the women in the United States. We know how that goes. We have no interest in being the handmaid's tale.